your ministry is called Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs. So that tells you how much the European Union is important for the Albanian government. And there has been a visit. Ms. von der Leyen was in Albania just a few days ago, and she stressed that Albania is on the right way for accession to the European Union. How much importance do you give to this goal, and what is the most important field of cooperation that you think Albania and Europe can have in the next future?
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you for the question, because it stands at the very heart of Albania's efforts in the past years, not only to reach full accession, but above all, to transform our society, our economy, our politics, our rule of law, the overall attempt to transform our country that not more than 35 years ago was probably the most isolated country in Europe. So Albania has come really far, and it has not done that alone. It has done that with friends, and we are happy to call all of our neighbors as our friends and partners, and also Italy, that is our historic partner, is a true friend of Albania, not only when it comes to our historic and cultural ties, but also to our attempts to become part of the European Union. And we don't see that accession only as a bureaucratic process, but we see that as a national vocation. We've been isolated for too long, but every time Albania has been free, it has chosen Europe. We consider that part of our identity, and we consider those roots to be very important. And we build on those roots. That's why the past year and a half, from the opening of negotiations to the unprecedented rhythm that Albania has in opening clusters and chapters and engaging with the European Union in a very serious matter, not only in the rule of law, fight against corruption, procurement, public administration, but all of sectors of society. And I think it's important to come a bit at our topic, that the Mediterranean region that we belong to, that's part of our identity, and the ties that we have, first of all, were established during our isolation, when Italy was the only window that we had to the world, and that was through TV. And that window through the world, I think, when we opened and we started our democratization process, I think Italy was our first natural partner, and we did enhance these ties, and we did strengthen this friendship, and we did work together with Italy in a lot of sectors. As Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Tajani said, our friend, that Italy has never imposed itself on its partners, let's say on, standards, and you have to do this and you have to do that, but has been a true partner in accompanying us in our democratization and in our transition that has not been easy. Today, Albania stands as a front runner for this accession process, together with Montenegro, and we're hoping that all the countries in the Western Balkans move along this way, because for us it's not only a question of ticking some boxes in a bureaucratic paper, but it's the question of our security, it's a question of our regional cooperation, it's a question of free movement of people, of labor, of businesses. It's a question of communicating more connectivity in the region and beyond, in the Mediterranean region and Europe. It's a question of investing in infrastructure, investing in connectivity routes that has historically been poor in our region, and we have to say that. Sometimes it's easier to get from Tirana to a European capital that is far than any other country in the Western Balkan region, for example. It's definitely easier to come to Italy in a lot of destinations than sometimes to travel within the Western Balkan region. So we see this opportunity, we see these forums as a way to connect to partners, to friends, and to people that understand the need for this region to be part of the European Union, but also for Europe to unite with a part of its history, its geography. We consider ourselves Europeans. We've been Europeans from the beginning of time. And I think the message before of Minister Tajani was very clear that this is not some process that will connect different parts of the world. This is the unification of Europe, and that's how we consider it. And considering the new geopolitical situation, the war in Ukraine that has completely changed the way we think about some of security measures that we took for granted before. Now it's time to reconsider that, and reconsidering that together with these countries like my country, understanding that apart from the geostrategic situation, it's a merit-based process, and we have to do our part. And with the interim benchmarks and every standard and everything and the criteria that will fulfilled, that's our national strategic goal. And it's beyond political parties. More than 92% of Albanians support the EU integration process. It's probably the most pro-EU country in Europe. I think it is the most pro-EU country in Europe. And that is also due to our history and our long isolation, but also to how far we've come in the conditions of freedom, when we can choose freely where we belong to. And our identity is European, our identity is Mediterranean, our identity is part of the Western Balkans, and we're proud of that. And I think that within 2027, that's the declared date, to come back to your initial question, for the closing of the technical negotiations. And by 2029, we consider it absolutely possible for Albania to be the 29th member of the European Union as the Commissioner on Enlargement and the President of the Commission said in Albania a few days ago. So thank you for your question, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. And we will come back